Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Santa's Workshop. Glad you could join me today. Today, we are going to get a start on the double nickel. For those who have not seen this one yet, which welcome to the channel, we are going to start getting the sheet metal strip back off of this thing because we have to figure out what the previous shop did to this frame. The owner told me it was about a 1/2 inch off, and you can kind of see, let me see if I can get angled up just right here. It almost looks like it is kicked over to the passenger side. So I'm going to have a little bit of fun getting this straightened out and getting it right. The gentleman just wants it done so he can sell it. And I want to fix it to where he wants to keep it when I'm done with it. We've got a positive tracker in out of a Blazer, and I found out, and Jim, I haven't told you this yet, those are 16 or 17 inch drum brakes on here. The 15 inch wheels won't fit on. So we're going to have to figure out something to do with that. Got a bunch of extra parts here. Got to fix this. Goes on Mr. Jim's tiller. But yeah, what I want to do, he wants to do a 4-link rear end underneath this. So the best thing to do is just get everything stripped back off the frame, back down to where the 53 is, and just start from the ground up. And my intentions are to get the frame right, get the 4-link done, get it painted, get the engine, transmission, driveline, all of that installed, ready to go. And then I can just throw a tarp over it, put it over in the side of the shop, and get to work on the body. And I think that would be the best way to go. It would ensure that it's got a good base, and you got to have good bones before you do anything. And I'm sure those who have seen in my last video, I ran out of MIG wire, so I got to go get that sometime today and get this finished up. But I am really tickled with the welds that I put on that. Someday I might just get halfway decent. But that's a few days coming, so. Alrighty. Well, while I got you here, Cars and Coffee coming up in less than 2 weeks, August 21st, Pauls Valley, Wacker Park. Then, time to hire Santa. Let me know if you want to do something with Santa. But first, let's get on to the double nickel. Alrighty then, we got the cab off the frame. Got everything stripped down. And I am going to see if I can figure out where we're off at. See if I can salvage this. I'm pretty sure I can. Ain't nothing what a cutting torch and a welder can't handle. But I'm gonna have to figure out what they did here first before I can go on. The first thing I want to do is let's do a little inventory of what we got here. This is his custom steering column. As you can tell, this box has been pretty wet. I'm hoping everything is still good in here. Make sure there's no surprises jump out at me. That still looks nice and good. Oh yeah, we're still good. Okay. Whew. All right, pack this back up and put it over there with his other stuff. And the box don't want to shut. There we go. Well now, his other variety of parts. Now this is all that just came with the pickup. He has got storage rooms, his garage, full of stuff. And for the most part, it's in fairly good condition. I mean, this is the underside of his steps. And I mean, I'm not really seeing anything bad. This right here is bent. That's going to have to be straightened, but that's no big deal. Here's one of the fenders. The brow looks really good. Now the driver's side brow, which one was it? Is driver's side or the passenger side? Oh yeah, here it is. You can see there's a little bit of rust. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this little panel here out and redo it instead of trying to redo a whole brow, because I mean, truthfully, there's no real damage there. One of the back fenders was in pretty rough shape. Yeah, there it is. We'll have to do a patch panel on it, but all in all, it's in good shape. So I want to stand this thing back up and get the tape measure out and see what we can figure out. Okay, I measured the frame out. I did a direct measurement and a cross measurement. Cross measurement was dead on. Direct measurement was off less than 1/8 of an inch. I did a straight line down the frame rail. It come out perfect. So I think the only issue that we have to deal with is they cut the front frame rails off blunt. So we're going to have to come up with some 55 front frame rails to set the core support and hook the bumper to, and those motor mounts. I am not sure what they were going for with those motor mounts, but I'm going to have to cut those off, clean it up, and I need to get me a small block Chevy block and a 350 transmission shell to set in here to figure out exactly how this motor is going to set in. So that's going to be my next goal, is to get those motor mounts straightened up. Once I get those done, I want to go talk with Mr. Jim and get that 4-link ordered. We're going to get the 4-link underneath it, drop this back end down just a hair. It is at a really massive rake right now. They're going to drop the back end down at least 2 more inches. And we're going to get this thing going. Get those done. I can get that frame rail, that weld cleaned up, and I think I'm going to plate it on the inside. What I want to do is see if I can get in here and show you. I want to put me a plate right here, and I'm going to extend it out onto this and weld it onto this. Then come back and then just angle it in. That will beef that up a lot. And get their welds ground out and re-welded where it needs to be. I mean, I think I did better than that when I was learning. But we're going to get that done and get this frame painted up. Get it back, the cab back on, and by golly, we're going to be on the road. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, show and tell time. You can always tell about a weld after you've ground it down whether or not it penetrated well. Can you see the pinholes in that one? Didn't get a good bite there. I mean, it will hold, but it is definitely not pretty. So what I want to do is, after I get my plates cut for the inside of the frame to box it in, what I want to do is I'm going to box it right past the cab mounts here. Somebody put a bolt in there and it doesn't even reach the bottom side of the nut. Oh my gosh, I want to see if we can't get in there and look at this. I don't know if y'all saw that or not, but yeah, we're going to be checking on that. On this side here, that weld there, very sketchy. And look at that gap that they left in there. I don't want to have to lay me a rod in there and just run a bead in that. And this here, that really disturbed me. This right here was built up so high, I bet you I took a quarter to almost a half an inch off of this, getting it down. And you can see the pinhole there. I mean, it would suffice, but for the kind of truck this is, you don't want that. You want something that looks good, top, bottom, inside out. And we come across another issue. The rear axle that he got for this, it's out of a Blazer. It's a 307 Positrack, but it was on either 16 or 17 inch wheels. The drums will not fit into the 15 inch wheels. So I have located a disc brake rear end out of a Trans Am. As soon as the gentleman gets back with me, we'll be going and picking that up to put in here. We're going to be doing a 3-link rear suspension. He decided against the 4-link because it's not going to be hot rodded that much, and the 3-link is just more than perfect. So we got to start on it. I want to have to go get my steel so I can do that plate. And you see the big hole right there underneath the clutch pivot. That's for the automatic transmission rod to go into to put it in and out of gear. So we're going to utilize that. And I'm going to plate over this up to here and bring it down. That way we tie this frame into that, and you're just going to get a lot more added strength that way. I'm probably going to have to flip this frame over at some time to get the bottom side of this. So we will see. We'll see how we're going to do that. So let's get back busy. Hey everybody, Santa's got presents. A subscriber named Joe showed up today and he brought me a heavy duty engine stand. I may end up taking that Cummins off of that one back there and putting on this, just because I think this one's going to hold that diesel just a little bit better. But I want to say thank you, Joe, very much. He's thinking about starting his own YouTube, and if he does, we're going to be doing some projects together. He's got some neat things. So shout out to my friend Joe for bringing me an engine stand. Thank you very, very much. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. As you saw, we got both sides of this ground down. Mr. Jim come by and checked it out, and he is kind of excited about what we're doing. I got the old clutch pivot arm taken off. I need to get a bolt to put in that. I'm thinking about going ahead and pulling the cab mounts off and putting them back in with bolts. But that way I can clean up that where he did that piece of frame underneath there. As you can see, it's kind of gapped and there's no weld in there at all. I mean, it doesn't need it, but boy howdy, I mean, one, it would, keep gunk from getting down and underneath there. Plus, it just looked better. We're going to get a different rear end for it. I've got a line on one, so I may be going in a couple of days to pick that up. And if I get that, I want to get one for the 53. So talking about the 53, I got the motor mounts and transmission mount painted up. We got them installed. I mean, don't that look pretty? Got them installed there. Got the engine mounts done and in. Now I just need to get that other, if I want to get that other end, I got to get it in, figure out the drive line, get the pitch correct, and by golly, we're off to the races. Get this engine cleaned up. If anybody knows where I can get a carbureted intake for this, I would almost entertain putting a carburetor on here with just a regular HEI distributor just to get away from the computer. It would just make the build a lot easier. So if anybody knows of where I can get one for cheap, or anybody wants to donate to the cause, just saying, send me a message on that. You can always contact me at santasworkshop64@gmail.com. But we're going to plug it again. Cars and Coffee, August 21st, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., Wacker Park in Pauls Valley. It's going to be a fun time. And plus, time to hire Santa. Ho, ho, ho. So, we're going to end this video with this. But we got that motor in there. And as you can see, it is sitting in there. Chain is slack. It's in the frame. So, I am tickled to death about that. So we're going to get that rear end in, get that measurements done, get the drive line underway. Then I'm going to pull that out, knock the transmission off, start cleaning it up, putting new seals and everything in it. Get the frame wire brushed down, get it painted, get the engine painted, transmission cleaned, everything back in. Oh man, that's going to be going to town. And we're going to be doing the same with this one very, very soon. I got to finish getting these welds taken care of. I'm going to fish plate the inside, but you saw when I was talking about all that earlier. Now I think the next thing we're going to be doing mainly is we're going to have to get them outside and do some washing. So, thank y'all for joining me. We will see you next time. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. See you next time, Santa's Workshop.